always be honest with yourself because you only have you. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Sims Therapy 2, which is just a video where I talk to you all about some things that have been on my heart and my mind recently over footage of a speed build in The Sims 4. I'm recording this before I do the build, so I'm not sure what it is yet. I don't know how it turned out, but either way, I hope you enjoy it. Everything that's important, CC links and all that stuff will be in the description box down below. So things have not been great for me from January up until quite recently, but I do these videos, or I want to do these videos just in case there is someone out there who is going through the same thing as me. You stumble across this video, maybe something that I say today can help you. Everything started mid-January. I don't really know what point in time it started. I haven't been clinically diagnosed with like depression or anything, so I just call this a deep sadness, but I just let everything go. Like I just felt so sad. I just wanted to lay in bed and just do nothing. That's exactly what I did. I wasn't going to class. I was going to work because I didn't want to get fired. But I wasn't going to class, I wasn't doing homework, I wasn't like really uploading to YouTube. I really had to force myself to do that. My podcast that I have with my friend Joshua, I feel like I wasn't even being 110% with that, and I feel really bad because that is a joint effort. Yeah, during that time in January, it was from January, up until quite recently, I just didn't care about anything. I didn't care about the semester. I was like, I don't know, let myself fail. I don't care about YouTube. I'm trying to care about this podcast just because I also have to consider Josh and how he feels about it. Eating wise, I literally had all I was eating during that time was candy and chips. I was having one real meal a day, barely having any water, and it started to show. My skin was horrible. How I felt was just sluggish. I wasn't doing my hair. My room was a mess. I didn't even realize that this was going on until I started to get out of it. Like, it was a lot. And I also was being really hard on myself too. I was forcing myself to upload on YouTube because I want to grow. I want my channel to grow. I want to play games, play Sims. I want to have fun. But I started to make myself dislike everything. I was not pleased with anything that I was uploading. I thought everything was terrible. I thought everything that I was uploading was crap and that I wasn't genuinely putting in my best effort. I'll touch on this a little bit more probably, but how this started to happen is I ended up watching a lot of videos about people whose channel would grow to like 2, 3, 5,000 subscribers in like 6 months. And I wasn't there, which is perfectly fine. I'm not there currently, which is perfectly fine. But when you're in such a negative headspace and you already feel so sad and you feel like nothing in your life has a purpose, why am I doing anything? I don't really care. I am not living a life that makes me happy. When you are trying to do something that you are passionate about, I feel like you just become a little bit more sensitive in that moment, or at least I was. And so seeing those type of videos, and it just made me question. I'm like, maybe I just don't have what it takes. Like my personality, I think I'm fun, but I'm definitely not bubbly. I'm not, I don't have the most like super energetic energy all the time. That's just not me. I just try to be a little bit more on the calmer side just because I get anxious pretty quickly. So I do my best to keep myself pretty calm. But I do like to have fun. It's just that personality isn't turned on all the time. And so it made me question it. It made me question just a lot of things. And I was uploading stuff just to upload it. I wasn't genuinely impressed with what I was making. It just turned into a lot of comparison. So it was also a mix of like the things that I wanted to upload. I currently can't because of my computer limitations. My current laptop isn't a gaming laptop and it struggles just to play Sims. So the games that I want to play, I can't play. That was also upsetting me because I couldn't do anything about it at the moment. So it was just like a lot of things that I was just thinking about. I was just really being very harshly critical of myself. And so that went on every single day up until around my birthday is when I first realized that I wasn't okay. Because like I said, I didn't know that I was in this space. I didn't realize it. And my birthday is February 27th. So I was like, wow, it's about to be spring soon. Where has the time gone? And then I really said, I'm like, whoa, no, wait, really? Like, where has the time gone? And that's when like I started to think about things a little bit differently. Even though I was in this sadness, there was something deep down inside that was like trying to push itself up. Like no matter how hard I was like, oh, I don't care about this semester, let me fail, like whatever, I don't care. Something deep down, like every couple days or maybe once a week was like, no, like you've got to care. You've come so far. You can't give up just yet. You gotta overcome this. But again, the sadness was overtaking everything, and that's all I would do. It's just lay in bed all day. Then I finally looked at Canvas to see my grades, and I realized how many assignments I had missed. It was horrendous, and we were still trying to get through it, which is very overwhelming, but thankfully my professors are very understanding. I don't know, just seeing all of that, I kind of still was deep in my sadness, and I'm like, I don't really care. Like, I don't want to do this. I just want to lay here. And I wasn't doing anything that made me happy. I wasn't watching YouTube, wasn't playing my Xbox, I wasn't reading manga, I wasn't watching anime, I wasn't doing anything. It was around mid-March, actually probably later than that, it was probably a couple weeks ago. One day I just kind of sat up. I was just like, I don't want to be like this anymore. And it was very random because I had never had that thought. I think it was like a really sunny day, and when it's really sunny outside, it makes me happy. And I kind of sat up and I was just like, something's got to change. I don't want to be like this. I'm like, I feel like I've come a really long way thus far. Despite everything that's been going on, I've come really far. I have good intentions. Something has to change. So I'm really big on journaling. I know it might seem like annoying to just write, but I write what is on my mind. I don't have like a structure or anything. It's just a blank piece of paper, and I just pick the first thought that passes through my mind and write it down. So if I'm hungry, if I have that paper in front of me and I'm like, I'm really hungry, I'll just start writing that. And then sometimes it makes me kind of dive deep into what's wrong. Like, I'm hungry, I haven't eaten today, and I'm kind of like, why? Like, I ask myself why after I write everything. Like, oh, I only had some candy, I didn't have a real meal. Why? I didn't feel like getting up to go downstairs. Why? It's like, just been feeling kind of sad. I haven't felt like doing anything. And then kind of from there, you just start to unwind like your feelings and just write down everything. And the main important thing when you're journaling is to be honest with yourself. It doesn't matter how good or how bad it sounds. If you thought it, if you feel it, write it out. You have to get those thoughts out. And that is what I did. Even if it was something that I wasn't sure about, or if I didn't know why I felt that way, I still wrote it down. And I even wrote in my journal, this is me being 100% honest. This is going to sound how it sounds. And that's me being so dramatic. Nothing sounded bad. Nothing sounded bad at all. But even then, you still need to be honest with yourself. Always be honest with yourself, because you only have you. So that was kind of what I started doing. I was journaling every single day. Maybe not every day, really. It was probably more like every other day. It depends. But when I did journal, it would go on for pages and pages. Now my journal is little, so that does play a part in it. And my handwriting isn't the smallest, so I would just write pages and pages of just how I was feeling. But I've been journaling for a long time, majority of my life. As I've gotten older, there was something in my journal that I started to notice, is that I would always write these things about, oh, I want to change. I want to, it's a new month. I want to start doing this. I want to work towards being the Hannah that I want to be. There was one thing in common about all of these entries. Why I didn't succeed, I guess, in becoming the version of myself that I wanted to be, is because I lack self-belief. this is something that I have been struggling with my entire life. I've always struggled with confidence. I've always struggled with believing in myself. I can't tell you why. It's just something that has been going on. And then as you get older and you see outside influences or people say mean things to you, you get bullied in school, whatever, sometimes some of those things you take with you into adulthood and you might not even realize it. Or somebody could say something to you as an adult. You might not realize that there are certain things that you hold on to that can cause you to limit yourself. This was something that no matter what I wrote, I had good intentions, but I was blocking myself, which is the reason why I failed to execute any of my ideas. In this deep sadness that I was in, this really started to come forward where I felt like I was having this internal battle. Like I said, it was like something deep down within me was like, no, don't give up. Maybe just like try something new. But then I was like, no, like it's not going to work. I'm not going to be successful. Nobody's going to like it. It looks like crap. Look at what this person did. Like I can't do that. And it was hard, man. Like I didn't see a light at the end of any tunnel. Everything just looked like darkness and sadness, and like my current situation was never going to change. I just didn't want to do anything, but I realized that I have to work on believing on myself, and that deep down I knew and I know the version of Hannah that I want to be. I just have to overcome me, which is really crazy, but you do. Like, you can be your literal worst enemy just from your thoughts. Like, it could be anything. If you want to design a shirt and you could have this great idea of a shirt that you think is like revolutionary, even if it's not revolutionary, it's your idea you think is great. And you can 3 seconds later be like, oh, but it won't look like this person. It's like, it's not going to sell. It won't look nice. It'll be trash. And then it's just like trying to stop thinking like that can be so hard because I don't know, you just have to remind yourself like, well, why can't mine be good? That's what I started to ask myself. Why can't the things that I make be good? Who told me that it's not good? And if somebody told me that it's not good, what is their source? Are they just making it up? Are they someone credible? Like, no. So it's like, why can't my stuff be shown in a magazine? Why can't I freelance my services? Why can't I be successful? Who told me that I can't? And if the person is yourself, babes, you gotta stop. You have to stop. And that is what I told myself. I'm like, well, why not imagine myself, with the life that I want to live, where I am financially stable, where I'm happy, where I'm able to support myself for my passions, and whether that be freelance work or going into what my degree study is in, whatever. Why can't I be happy? And when I was writing, I told myself, I can. I'm going to go for it. Period. First things first was I had to let go of the things in my past that was holding me back. Because I kind of had to do a deep dive within myself and try to figure out, just like explore, what is it that may be holding me back from believing in myself? When I get ready to do something, what do I exactly think? And I wrote it down and I explored it. There were 2 main things from my past I was holding on to that I had to let go. Because I'm just like, you are away from those people. You gotta let it go. They don't have power over you anymore. You don't have to be anxious. You don't have to be afraid. Whatever. All that you felt about yourself back then, let that go. Because you can't go back to that time. It's no point. Let that stuff go. Now, this is going to vary. I am talking about my situation, which is not that extreme. But in my case, I just had to let go of things that people have said to me that I ended up keeping with me into my adult years. Oh gosh. Ugh. It feels weird saying adult years, like, gosh. I'm growing up. I had to let it go. And I just did. In my journal, I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm not thinking about that anymore. That's past Hannah. That is very tiny Hannah. We are big Hannah now. Sometimes that's what you gotta do. And then moving forward, I was like, I'm gonna make the steps to believe in myself. Anything that I do, I'm going to tell myself, this is good. It's also important to remember, in anything that you do, you will naturally improve because practice makes perfect, right? So if you want to be an artist, if you want to be a painter, you start painting your stuff now. No, your paintings may not look like the next person's, but there was a point in time when their paintings didn't look like that. The paintings that you admire, theirs didn't start out like that, but they got to where they are because they just kept creating. And by continuously creating, researching and doing whatever it is that they did, they over time improved. You won't get to that point if you don't start, if you don't just do. And I even tell myself that I enjoy making Photoshop creations with my Sims. I'll do like photo shoots of a certain theme, and then I'll go in Photoshop and do something with them. I'm trying to make it all cool, like a little magazine cover for this, like for my not real yet design studio. When I make these things, I compared my work a lot to other people, but I had to tell myself, if I scrap everything that I start to make because it doesn't look like the next person's, I will never get to their level, because I'm never finishing something that I can eventually build upon and improve. I never fully execute that one thing to teach me what I can do better the next time. It was hard to realize that. And I also realized I was very fearful about a lot of things. I was fearful, I don't know, criticism, I guess, or just like super, I don't mind criticism, but just like super critical, not even to the point where it's criticism, just like disrespect. I was afraid of failure, was holding on to a lot of fears that I also had to let go. I am religious, so I do pray a lot, and I had to tell myself that if you are praying and you believe in God, then you believe that He will help you. He'll be there for you. Don't be afraid. I wasn't doing that. I wasn't being super duper strong in my faith because I had so much fear. So that was something else that I also had to realize and work towards on my own religious journey and my own relationship with the Lord. That is kind of where I'm at for self-belief. It's just everything that I'm working on. I'm like, this looks good. Post it. Like, this looks good, this is done, execute it, or not execute it, export it, whatever you gotta do, finalize it. And if you want to sell it, sell it. Don't be afraid. Don't compare your stuff to other people. If you want to freelance your services and you feel like you're good enough, do it, because there is someone out there who will like what you make. And I also tell myself that too. I'm like, there will be at least one person out here in this world, out of all these people, who like what I make. And there might be even more people like that one person who like what I make, but you won't find those people if you don't put yourself out there. So you can't be afraid. If you stay in your comfortable bubble, you won't grow, and you got to get uncomfortable to grow. And right now, I'm being very uncomfortable by believing in myself, by not holding myself back, by imagining the life that I want. And it's very foreign to me. It feels like unattainable at times, and it feels like sometimes I feel like I'm being naive, but it's like, why? Like, if I don't imagine that life, I'm not gonna get there. And I also think about what people say when they're like, everything that I need is already within me, I just have to bring it out. And lately I've been feeling that way too. Everything that I need to get where I want to get in life is already with me. I just have to bring it forward. But me not believing in myself was keeping that part of me down. And it couldn't come forward to grow and expand. So that is what I've been working on as far as the self-belief department. And then I started working on my happiness and purpose. Like I said, I was in a deep sadness, and I've always been searching for happiness. I feel like it's like a continuous journey, but I haven't felt happy in a very long time. Not like outside of this, I haven't felt happy in a long time. I never thought about finding my own happiness as an adult. I was trying to go back to the days when I was happy, and I never thought about making new happy days. Instead of trying to replicate what once was, why not create a new? And it was just something that I never considered before. Again, in my journal, I wrote down the things that make me happy. And I also wrote down, why do I want to be happy? It's something that I want for myself. When I get up every day, I want to feel joy in life. I want joy And what I do, I want just joyous days. And I know not every day is going to be perfect. That's not realistic, but that's not what I mean. Like, I want deep, genuine happiness, not just temporary happiness that I've been fulfilling myself with. I want that stuff to run deep. One thing that applies to what I'm doing right now, like I said, I stopped doing a lot of things, but I fell out of touch with my passions, and I just didn't feel like happiness was in the cards for me right now. I already talked about my YouTube channel, how I ended up comparing myself. On here, it made me question my purpose, which is really hard because like I saw myself falling out of love with it. Because when I first made my channel, I made it to be about Sims. It was going to be me showing people how they can improve their builds without having to be like a super skilled builder, and just showing you the methods that I use to improve my builds like over the years, how I felt like they've improved. But I didn't want to put myself in just a box of Sims because I like a lot of video games. I like being able to grow. I don't like being boxed in. As far as like passions and stuff like that, I like to have the option to, you know, change and move into a different space. So I decided that I would just do casual gaming. And that was all fine, but then like I said, I ran into the hurdle of not being able to record the games that I want to because of my computer. So I tried to do what I could, but it wasn't genuine. I noticed that I wasn't being confident truly because I was so focused on thinking about other people and the things that I was reading about on YouTube about YouTube. I was constantly thinking about those things in the back of my head and was making videos just to make them. I didn't like what I was making. I wasn't enjoying it at all anymore. I completely like just made myself fall out of love with it, which is crazy. Even all of my other passions like Photoshop and piano and just things like that, like I fell out of love with it. Thinking about it, talking about it like this makes me realize like I was really down bad. I really was. And again, I'm still not 100%, but it was a really rough time, especially in January. It was hard, but I am happy that I have made it this far and that I am still continuously working on improving myself, construct the life that I want for myself. What I did was I put everything on pause, quite honestly, which just does still tie into like the self-belief thing and with my deep sadness and all that. I knew I wanted to change. I was working on believing in myself at this stage, trying to work on my happiness and purpose, but I just had to take a pause because I'm just like, well, I'm not going to upload stuff that I don't like just to upload it, because that's not how I want to be reflected as upon my channel. And I didn't want to record anything because I was so sad. So I took a deep pause and I kind of did some deep diving about my channel. I just had a meeting with myself again to reevaluate everything. I don't have all of the answers, but that's okay. But we're taking it one day at a time, just one stride at a time, just trying to see like what's going to happen. So I said I let go of past things that was hurting me, and that offered a little bit of clarity, kind of made me feel like we're at a blank canvas, a canvas that was ready to be painted. The life that I want. I guess the life that I want, doing things that I want that make me happy, that I want to share with the world. I just started asking myself, what makes you happy? What do you want from life? And this is 100% realistic. What do you like? Because that's also something I never asked myself. What is it that you actually like? And it is very broad, but sometimes you have to start from there and work your way down. And what I wrote is what I want from life now, not so much focusing on the future, because that can be very overwhelming, but a short-term list of what I want. And I'm like, I want my degree, I want to improve myself financially, I want to improve my video editing and Photoshop skills, and I want to grow my channel. And what makes me happy is watching the sunrise, being in nature, playing video games. Still on my little nerdy things, those make me happy, but I had become so out of touch with it. And then as you get older, the things that made you happy when you were younger might not make you happy now because you continuously grow. So every day I've been trying to do something that will make me happy. And then it kind of made me think about purpose. And I'm like, okay, well, if video editing, content creating, whatever makes you happy, what is my purpose behind doing all of this though? Like, is it just for happiness? Which, if that's the answer, that's perfectly okay. But I knew that that wasn't my final answer. Honestly, I always felt like I'm good at helping people, whether that be indirectly or directly. I've always felt like helping people is something that I'm really good at, is something that I like to do. You know, you have to be careful with it as well. You still have to set boundaries for yourself. I do feel like that is possibly a purpose of mine, or one of them. It's just helping people. And I think about, I try to help my friends. I want to see them improve. When I thought about YouTube, it was to help people improve their builds and with Sims, but also for the casual gaming. Is just, I want my channel to be a space where people can come and unwind, relax, have some fun, have some laughs, maybe have a few scares if we play something scary, but just to take a break from life, take a break from everyday life, and be happy and build a community centered around that. And there are also other things in life that I want to do that, you know, which revolve around what I feel like my purpose is, which is helping people. I want to give back a lot in life. So, you know, help communities around me, or those, not even those around me, but just give back. I hope this video has made sense. I've just been kind of rambling. I've been trying to stay on topic, but a lot of the things that was wrong with me were tied up in each other, with the unhappiness and the self-belief and finding happiness and finding purpose. I want to be happy. That is what I sat up and realized one day. I want to be happy, and I will be happy working towards fulfilling my purpose, or one of the things that I feel like is my purpose, and reminding myself of the life that I want, and just continuously encouraging myself and telling myself that, like, be able to afford this yet, but one day you will. One day you will have XYZ. One day you will wake up in this house, feed your cats, like, soon. That is the life that you will live. Don't run away from it. Don't be afraid of it, because you're not happy with where you are, right? So, like, you kind of don't have a choice but to elevate, but to change things around you, because you can't stay where you are, because it's not fulfilling. It's, you feel like you're missing something. So sometimes certain situations in life don't give you a choice but to change. I'm one of those people who feel like everything happens for a reason. Even if I don't know the reason, I feel like this situation, like this whole sadness, kind of needed to happen to help me realize myself. Life is a continuous journey, but I want to enjoy the journey as a caterpillar, just like how I will as a butterfly. And I saw this quote on, I think, SZA's Instagram story, but I like it though. Just believe in yourself and keep going. Don't be afraid. But all in all, that's going to be it for this video from me. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, I haven't built it yet. There will be screenshots at the end if they have not already played. Be sure to check the description for all important links. And yeah, thank you so much for listening, and I will see you in my next video.